Thanks to HyperTough for sponsoring this video. I've been cleaning professionally now for 20 years. And along with that means that I've tested and tried out a variety of cleaning tools and products. Now, some of them are total game changers and I will use forever, while the others, not so much. So let me show you the ones that are actually worth your money. The first thing is to invest in some high quality cleaning towels. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you already know that I love to clean with microfiber towels. I just feel like microfiber does a better job of lifting things like grease and grime and dirt off of the surface that you're cleaning. And I just love that you can also use these towels after you're done cleaning all the grime off to come through and buff and shine up the surfaces and just leave them looking pristine. Now, another really good thing about high quality towels is that I feel like you can clean more with just one towel, so that way you don't have to be using multiples, and it just helps you clean faster. Another advantage is that the towels themselves last longer. There is nothing worse than using cheap towels to clean because A, they don't do a very good job. B, they like to leave lint all over the surfaces that you're clean, which if you ask me, kind of defeats the purpose of cleaning in the first place if you have to go back and wipe down or clean the surface again. And then the third thing is they get holes in them, they break down, and they just don't last as long. So then you have to buy new towels more often. Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, Brandon, I cannot stand the feeling of microfiber on my skin, especially if you have dry hands, it's kind of the worst. I totally get it. Now, a quick pro tip for that I like to use is I always clean with my green gloves. So by using gloves, you don't feel that texture on your skin and it's just easier to work with these towels. If you're just like, I just hate microfiber completely, that's okay. There are a few other towels I like to recommend. The first is this blue towel here called a Huck cloth. Sometimes they're even called like medical or surgical cloths, but these are a great all-around cleaning towel. These are actually very popular amongst like window cleaners because they do a good job cleaning glass. I just feel like they work pretty much on all surfaces. The other nice thing is they're very soft to the touch. Now, this towel is pretty well loved, as you can see here, but it's kind of fraying on the edges. But this is old and I've cleaned so much with these towels and they just hold up and they last, and that's really what you're looking for when you're trying to find a high quality towel. The second is just a quality white terry cloth. Now, these towels do a good job. They're pretty much all purpose as well, just like these. However, you do want to look out for a few things. First, make sure they're white because any ones that have dye or color added to them, if you use the wrong cleaners, sometimes that dye can transfer to what you're cleaning or can start to bleed, and we don't want that. The second is make sure they're not super thin because the really thin terry cloths just don't clean very well. And again, they're just gonna break down faster and you're gonna have to use more. The other thing is when you buy a high quality terry cloth, it's not gonna leave a ton of lint behind. The cheaper ones just like to shed and just make a bigger mess. So no matter what towels that you choose to use, just remember, buy high quality ones because it will make your cleaning faster and easier. The next thing is to stop buying cheap spray bottles. Now, this is actually something I wish I could go back in time and tell myself early on in my cleaning career, because I really didn't think it mattered. I would just go to the dollar store and buy the cheapest ones I could find. And yes, they would work for a little while. However, what always happened is they would break, whether it's the nozzles just not spraying well and getting clogged, or even the triggers breaking on me. And the worst of all is that they would start to leak over time, and that would just make a bigger mess while I was cleaning. So I decided one day that I'm just going to spend some money on some nice spray bottles, and boy, did it make a difference. Now, for instance, the ones I've been using lately are these here from Ecolab. These are awesome. They do a really good job. You can get these at Home Depot. I think they're like $4, which again, in the grand scheme of things, from the dollar store ones that are about $1 to these, it's really not that big of a jump, but the difference is night and day. These ones last way longer. I've had this one since they launched these at Home Depot and it just keeps spraying. The other really nice thing is you'll notice here, it's kind of starting to wear away on me a little bit, but that it's chemical resistant. Now that is huge because the cheap ones usually are not chemical resistant. So what that means, if you put something in there like vinegar, it's very acidic. It's gonna break down all the internal components and it's not gonna spray as well. And unfortunately, over time, it's gonna start to leak, which was kind of happening to me. So these are chemical resistant. That's not gonna happen. The triggers and the nozzles are super heavy duty, so they just last longer. And I've even dropped this thing a few times and thankfully it's still working great. So just spend the few extra dollars, buy a high quality spray bottle, you won't regret it. As I mentioned at the start, today's video is sponsored by HyperTough. HyperTough makes durable, reliable, and budget-friendly tools to really help you tackle any job around your house. They actually just released this vacuum right here. It is a 1.5 gallon wet dry vac, and this little machine is a workhorse. It's super compact, lightweight, and completely cordless, which I love because that means you don't have to search for an outlet to clean up a mess. It's also powered by the hyper-tough 20-volt max battery, which is included along with a charger in the box. It even has a brushless motor for longer life and better suction. And the built-in storage for the hose and all the attachments is great because everything stays neat and is ready to go for the next time you need it. Now, when Hypertough reached out, I was very intrigued by this vacuum because I love a cleaning tool that's just all self-contained like this one and ready to go. I've been using this in areas like my car. It's been working great for crumbs and things in there. Also in my garage for like sawdust or whatever else you have in your garage that you don't necessarily want to bring your indoor vacuum outside. I also just love this for any sort of spill as well. It's just nice to have a wet dry vac easily available that you can go grab and pick up when a mess happens and you just don't want to go grab a big bulky vacuum. So if you're looking for an affordable, compact, and easy to use little wet dry vac, definitely give this one a try. They're actually available now at Walmart, or I'll put a link down in the description below for you to check out. And thanks so much again to Hypertough for sponsoring this video. The next thing is Scrub Daddy and Scrub Mommy sponges. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. The first time that I saw a Scrub Daddy in the grocery store, I just thought it was a massive gimmick. Yes, it's a cute smiling sponge, but does it really clean better? Is it really worth the extra few dollars? And I bought one because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I saw it on Shark Tank. I'm just at least give it a try and see if it's really worth the hype. And yes, it is. It legit is. I personally feel it is because it just is so versatile. Now, both of them are made out of something called flex texture. And essentially what that means is when you get it cold under some cold water, it stays firm and hard just to give you a little extra scrubbing power. But then when you run it under some warm water and really heat up the sponge, it softens and gets more squishy, if you will. And so it's much more gentle and kind of moldable so you can get into all sorts of cracks and crevices while you're scrubbing. Now, both of these work great like in your kitchen sink to clean your dishes and things, but I found just in general cleaning around the house, I absolutely love these because they're also non-scratch, and being able to warm them up in a little bit of water there and just even soften them up, I can get them even more gentle, so I'm not gonna cause damage to anything I'm cleaning. For instance, early on in my cleaning career, I had one of those green and yellow sponges in my cleaning kit, and I just was not thinking whatsoever, and I grabbed it and I scrubbed a mirror. So stupid because you know what happened, right? It just scratched the living daylights out of the mirror. And ever since then, I pretty much never kept a scratching sponge in my cleaning kit just because I didn't even want to have the option to grab on accident and cause damage. And what's so nice is Scrub Daddy sponges are not gonna cause that damage. That's why I keep them in all of my cleaning kits because I know they're safe and I can just use them whenever I need them. Now, a question I get all the time is, what one do you prefer? Usually the Scrub Mommy is always in my kitchen sink. I just feel like it's a little more versatile in the kitchen because it also has a foam side that comes in super handy, and I always keep a Scrub Daddy in my cleaning kit. Next up is a drill brush scrubber. And in my experience, these are so worth it because it really speeds up your cleaning process. It makes it easier. And really my favorite part is it saves my body because I don't have to do so much manual scrubbing, because when I scrub a ton, it really hurts my shoulder and my lower back. And when you use these, you don't have that. You can use these on things like your shower, your tubs, your floors. I've even used them on walls at times if they're really dirty, or even appliances that were full of grease and grime. Really anywhere that needs a good scrub and you don't want to do it by hand, you can use a drill brush scrubber. I will say though, you want to make sure that you have the proper bristle brush for the job. For instance, if it's something super delicate and you don't want to cause damage or scratch it, you want something nice and soft. However, sometimes you got something that's very dirty and it's on a surface like, let's say, cement. You want the thick, stiff brushes. That way you can really cut through the grime or whatever it is you're trying to clean. There are a variety of these on the market. It feels like every day when I open up TikTok Shop or Amazon, there's a new one. And a lot of those, in my experience, are underpowered, so they can't cut through all the grease and grime, and it just defeats the purpose of using one in the first place. Now, the two that I highly recommend, this one here first is from Ryobi. It is a great unit. You can change out the heads here to get various stiffness bristles. It's also battery powered, which I love. And the whole thing is waterproof, which is extremely handy when you're cleaning because things get wet and you won't damage the unit, and it just keeps running great. I mean, I've had this thing for years and it keeps scrubbing. Now, if you don't want to buy a specific unit like this, that's okay. You can also go over to Amazon and just get yourself a drill brush cleaning kit here. These work just as well. The only thing to remember though is you do need a drill, obviously, to power it. So you'll have to get one of these, and it's not waterproof. So you just need to be a little more careful, but I'll put links to both of these down in the description below. Definitely check them out. I highly recommend investing in one because it will level up your clean. The next thing is to invest in good gloves. Now these ones here are from GloveWorks. I absolutely love these and have been using them for years and years. I will say they're more expensive than most gloves, but the reason I like them so much is they really last a long time, so you don't have to use as many, and they also don't rip and tear easily. There is nothing worse than when you're cleaning and you look down at your hands and all of a sudden you have a rip or a tear in your gloves, and now you're exposed to that nastiness you were just cleaning, and it's just, it's gross. These also have a nice texture to them that I really like, and it helps you just kind of hold on to anything that's wet in your hands, whether it's your cleaning tools or your scrubbers. Definitely give these ones a try and let me know what you think. The last thing is super quick and simple, and that is invest in a razor blade scraper. Now I know these aren't super expensive and it's by no means groundbreaking, but having one of these in your cleaning kit always comes in handy in my experience. You can use this to scrape things like soap scum from your shower or tub, or even burnt on food from your oven. Really, a razor blade is so efficient because it can get underneath the grime that you're trying to clean and lift it from the surface. I do like to mention a few tips when it comes to using a razor blade scraper, and I feel like I've said this a million times, but it's so important because I don't want to see you scratch anything while you use it. The first, always use a fresh new blade. If your blade is old and rusty, it will scratch. The second thing is to make sure to lubricate the surface with some cleaner to spray it down and then scrape, because if you don't, the blade won't glide easily across the surface and you could gouge or scratch it. Now the third thing, and really the most important thing, is to go slow and don't press too hard. Let the blade do the work. And there you have it. Those are just a few of the things that I think is worth your investment to help level up your clean. Now, if you have anything that you love to use, definitely drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. I also need to give a huge shout out to the Clean Squad members over on our Patreon. If you want to join us over there and get things like downloadable PDF cleaning guides, cleaning checklists, or your name credited down below, definitely check the link in the description. And as always, I'll see you on the next clean.